Well, I'm here with a new testimony. And the last time I did one, I don't even remember what I said in that testimony. So usually I end up going back and I look at them at previous testimonies, but I didn't get the chance to today. So I don't know where I left off on the last one. So just a lot of things going on in my life, personally and privately. And coping with it has been really difficult these days due to the fact of my generalized anxiety. And I have mentioned that in previous testimonies about that, how mental health can uh, really weigh on a person, especially if you're an emotional person such as myself. It can really get to you at times. And it's important that you find that me time, even though there's always something going on throughout the day. For me, it's during the evenings when I get to, sit down and watch a TV program or do a painting project because I like to paint. I'm very artsy, craftsy. So, and I write a lot too, and I've gotten back into my writing again. And a lot of my writing is in poetry format. You might have seen testimonies on that I do write a lot of poetry. But I write a lot. Anyway, I write scriptures that pop out to me when I'm reading the Bible. I'll rewrite them out, and then I read them out loud to myself, which really helps because it keeps my faith strong in the Lord. I make no apologies for that. I am who I am, and that's just the way it is. I could be very blunt and very honest about that. And there's nothing wrong with it either, because anyone who has a strong sense of faith in the Lord, you're going to get through your trials and your triumphs and your obstacles and challenges. It just makes you stronger as a human being, because we're all human and we're humanly imperfect. We all make mistakes. We all go through that in our lives. And just a number of things that just go on throughout our days. You might be at work and have a conflict come up. It's hard to deal with conflict. Some people have a difficult time, with that. Me, on the other hand, I don't like conflict at all. I don't like to get into conflict. I don't like to argue. But, if there is someone who has a toxic energy about them, it's hard and difficult to get along with those kind of people. They're very opinionated. Some of them could be very arrogant in their tactic when they speak or talk. And that's when conflict usually arises. And someone with anxiety or any kind of mental health issue, you're going to want to lash out, and you're going to get angry, and you're going to get mad, and then your blood pressure raises and your face turns beet red. There's just, and your heart starts to race more. So, taking that time of mindfulness and grounding is important, and it can be difficult. And a friend of mine, and I'm going to just lay her name out here. Her name is Jenny Harvey, and I really recommend to anybody out there to follow her on Twitter, and her official website is under her Twitter account. I really recommend her. She's got a lot of insight and things behind her who's always there for others with anxiety, such as myself or other people. And in social media, it can be really difficult because, I hear stories every day about someone in the news. It could be really sad to hear those stories, how they end up taking their lives, or they just don't know how to deal or cope with what they have. And it's not a crazy person's illness. It's not. And that's the stigma around it, that it's, a crazy person's illness. That's so untrue. So that's part of today's testimony, because I've been going through so many emotional situations and circumstances these days. And personally, I'm talking about this more, especially to you folks who have that, who might have that difficulty, and just don't know where to turn or who to talk to. And so this is why I mentioned Jenny, because she's on Twitter, and she just wants to get to know you, and she wants to let you know, the tips and social awareness behind that. And it might help you. It might not. Everybody is so different. And I don't know much more what to say about that today, but I really recommend her. She's working hard, and she's doing what she's meant to do in her life. That's her spiritual purpose and gift in this world, and you have that too. You just might not know that yet. And this is my spiritual gift, is to share my experiences. Some of them, not all, but some of them. I'm very private when it comes to my private life, and my personal life to a certain extent. I have mentioned my journey and my story in some of these testimonies that I've given you this season. And that just lets you know who I am as a human being, as a person. I am expressing my emotions more, but also knowing how to cope with it too, because it's always been difficult for me. I've always internalized everything, but over the years, I've learned to express that, and expressing it more, and learning more about myself in the process. It's just a number of things, and sometimes I get really mad at myself and really angry, and I have to remind myself to calm down, because right now I just want to cry and just let it all out, because there's something going on with my life right now, and I'm gonna fight this situation and do everything I have to do for this during this time. And that's just who I am as a person. And I just, and it's been weighing on me. It's been really, really weighing on me heavily for 2 days now. And crying for me has been very helpful. It's been what's the word am I looking for? I can't remember the word I'm looking for, but my body, my feelings, my sensations, they're just all over the map right now. And during the evening is when I have a chance to really compose myself a little better, and take that mindfulness moment and the self-care moments, because I used to be so hard on myself, and I'm still that same way. I'll never be able to change that habit about me. I'll always be really hard on myself for a lot of things, and just coping and dealing with that, it is a constant struggle for me, and a constant challenge. So that's just the way it is, and doing everything I have to do. I can really drag my claws when I have to, and be the assertive person that I have to be, and be very bluntly honest, and talk things through, and not snap, because I used to snap back at people, and have an attitude. I'm very stubborn and very bullheaded in that way. And like I said, it can get to the best of me at times. So that's what I was going to do and say today in my testimony. And I'm keeping my faith in the Lord because He's gotten me through a lot these past few months and reminding me the importance of life and balance and family, because family is so important. So important. Don't forget that. And those who truly support you in this, and no matter what you're dealing with, there are people who will support you and be your supportiveness. And just try and take it easy on yourself. I know it's hard. It's very hard for me too. And no matter what you're dealing with, you're not the one in control. Someone with a higher power is in control. Show some authority in your life and stand up for yourself and be a voice. This is why I'm here. This was my God-given purpose and my spiritual gift. And I'm really looking forward to my future projects that I'm working on right now. And you're going to see a lot of that come across on my official website. I will be releasing some blogs coming up, so I can't wait to share those with you, as well as my poetry, and getting back into finishing my 6th book in the Journey Collection series. This book means the world to me because I bear my true self, my soul, and my heart in this book. And the challenges and difficulties that it has also erased. And it has just thrown so much more perspective in my life and much more clarity. And just pray, folks. Pray for your own safety. Pray for those who love you and support you in all that you do. And I'll see you all again in another testimony.